Mock draft. Here we go. Yeah. Top 10.
What number is this? Is this 1.0, 2.0?
This is 1.0.
Okay.
What's the jingle? The NFL draft jingle? The pick is in.
Oh, God, that used to be my ringtone back in.
You're a sick freak, dude.
So I've been in it. Round 1, pick 1. Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward. This one, again, I don't expect that pick to be different in any mocks that I see. I would just be very, very surprised. Number 2, Cleveland Browns. I have them going Abdul Carter here.
Said I'll hang up and listen.
This is
interesting. I'm not mad at it, but it's an interesting one.
This guy's
I think for the Browns specifically, you pair him with Myles Garrett.
That's not fair.
It's like
pick your
specifically. You have two utterly freakish athletes off the edge.
Well, who's playing quarterback?
Might be like one of the best since.
Exactly.
But that's the problem is, you need a quarterback. I don't have as high a grade on Shedeur Sanders as Cam Ward. I don't. Other people I respect don't either. And it's like, if you're the Cleveland Browns, you're not going to be in this position every year.
Correct.
But Abdul Carter can win you games right now. And you're in a cap situation where maybe it is Sam Darnold, maybe it's Jameis Winston, maybe Deshaun Watson's Achilles miraculously heals and he's back to his old form. I don't know what.
Miraculous.
But it's just a rookie quarterback I don't think is leading you to the promised land either. I think a rookie quarterback with that offense as it currently stands right now is leading you back to here next year, unfortunately. So I'm going to Abdul Carter. I think he's that good of a prospect. I think him versus Travis Hunter, you don't really need a corner there. Now, if you consider Travis Hunter a wide receiver, maybe that obviously is a need for Cleveland Browns. But to me, just the pairing of Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett is too much for me to pass up. Too much for me to pass up. 3 New York Giants going Travis Hunter then, just because obviously, and again,
that's a question.
I think the Giants are in the free agent quarterback market. You do not give lame duck GM and head coach
one more year
and a rookie quarterback, right? They're knowing if we go rookie quarterback, that probably is our job.
It's over with for you.
So I have to go with Travis Hunter because he's the guy who can impact the game the most for them at this point. And obviously, those two guys, Carter and Hunter, I think are just a different level of prospects. For them, honestly,
they have to have a corner. Deontay Banks hasn't worked out for them.
But I feel like if you go receiver with Travis Hunter, him and Malik Neighbors would be.
I think he gets maybe 5 to 7 snaps on offense a game.
Yeah,
but he's going to be a corner.
And even that though, I think is enough to where
he can make an impact.
Change the calculus.
Yeah, for sure. He can make an
Neighbors on there is terrifying.
5 to 7 snaps on offense in a game means he took about 75 to 80 snaps of offense during the week. In addition to
he's gonna have a package, I think.
But I mean, you got to practice it.
Yeah.
One thing that we always did with defensive players when they come to the off, when Matt Nagy would have Khalil Mack play tight end or Akeem Hicks play running back, they were in the offensive meetings in addition to their meetings, and then they were running it in walkthrough and practice. So it's a lot. I know that that's a body type right there that can do whatever the hell he wants on God's green earth, but that's a lot of reps.
Patriots at number 4 have going Will Campbell.
Me too.
He's not been my number 4 player, but I just think the need's too great. I don't see anyone being that distinctly better at this point in time, though.
So that's the question mark people have been bringing up is Calvin Banks' upside a little bit higher. My thing is it's kind of like the Joe Alt and Fashanu conversation last year. Fashanu probably has a higher upside, but with Joe Alt coming in, he's going to, from day one, start. And that's what Will Campbell is. He's the best technician in this draft.
Bro, he is boring to watch.
Technician out of this world. You're not going to beat him.
Yes.
And his recovery skills are out of this world as well.
I watched him against Jared Verse. I think it was against Jared Verse.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope I'm getting this right. And look, I've seen how strong Jared Verse is and explosive he is against NFL players. Correct. Will Campbell was just like,
he's different.
Have these paws, young man.
And I think he fits in the running game more so what they're going to do under Josh McDaniels. So Will Campbell's pick at 4. I have Mason Graham, the Michigan DT, being the pick for the Jags at 5. Now, this is assuming Trent Baalke's not there because Graham's going to have 32-something-inch arms.
He might go Mykel Williams.
Yeah, right. He hasn't drafted a guy sub 34 inches, I think, ever. His GM tenure, and I'm not joking about that. So Mason
Graham is ready made,
but exactly
right now.
And they need a DT too. So
would you consider corner there too? Maybe though.
Yeah, I would for them. Yeah. I think I think even wide receiver at this point, just if you're really
actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Make BTJ more explosive.
They can go anywhere, and honestly, they'd be a great trade down spot because they could use a few things.
Correct.
But I'm going Mason Graham for this one, just because I have a pretty high grade on Mason Graham. I think he's the top player available for me at this point in time.
Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur goes 6 to the Raiders. And
too bad AP's not there anymore, huh?
I think there's a real chance he falls a little bit. I mean, just because in front of them, it's the Browns and the Giants that need a quarterback, right? And we've said that I think the Giants go and get one in free agency or via trade or whatever it is because they can't afford to have a terrible season next year, even if, they're really looking up at it in the NFC East at this point. The Browns, it's just going to be like, that's such a valuable pick at 2. Do we want to use it on one Shedeur Sanders? I don't know. Is he that much better than the quarterback you could get in the second round as a prospect or third round as a prospect? TBD. I think the Raiders would pull the trigger, though, for sure, if he's on the board for them, just because of where they are as a franchise.
Shedeur's arm strength?
And
Shedeur's arm strength?
It's probably, I mean,
it's good enough.
It's good enough.
The ball travels further in Colorado, though.
It's a little, it's below average by NFL standards. If he were in the NFL right now, he would be probably 25th-ish or so. I think it's about Bryce Young. I bet it's about as strong as Bryce Young. Maybe a little less.
So you think Bo Nix has a strong arm, man?
Yeah, Bo Nix definitely has a strong arm.
I saw him overthrow some guys late in the year.
Bo's definitely.
When? Down the left sideline.
I saw it in Baltimore game, but that was the only game I saw.
It's not as weak as Tua's, not as weak as probably Jalen Hurts is, but it's not as good. It was probably like Kirk Cousins was before he fell off the rails, right? It's probably about Kirk Cousins in Minnesota arm strength.
Kirk Cousins, great job at the desk last week, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah. He was entertaining.
Pre-game show. He did a good job.
He was entertaining.
He's likable.
Number 7 Jets. I want you to take on this. Kelvin Banks, offensive tackle. Now he's only played left side.
That's what I was about to ask you.
This isn't like last year's class though, where you can kind of just pick, hey, one guy's played a bunch of the left, one guy's played a bunch of right. Let's pick the right. But he's that good. You're the Jets. You're so close to having a very good offensive line.
They're only at one position away.
Yeah. And so I think he's young, malleable, and we talked about balance. His balance is exceptional when you watch him on tape. So
yeah, upside is there. Again, hasn't played right. So, I mean, is this a case where if they do draft him, do they leave him at left? Because Fashion actually has played right. But when Fashion moved to left, it was night and day.
Yeah.
So it was night and day. So, like, I don't know if you messed that up. The interesting thing, and people can't see it next, I think the guy to draft next makes more sense for the Jets at 7.
Okay, Tetairoa McMillan.
Yeah.
For the Carolina Panthers at 8. I mean, it makes a ton of sense for the Panthers at 8. Let's get real. But I do think it does for the Jets as well. What would be
him and Garrett Wilson? That's a perfect pairing.
He's like what Alan Lazard was supposed to be.
100%.
Alan Lazard, if he could actually catch and actually create after the catch.
6'5".
You're talking about a guy that can go up and get the rock.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Love basketball.
That's what he does.
You just don't see, I mean, guys with his frame, they play basketball nowadays. Like he would be a first-round pick in the NBA if that was what
I could even see. Could you even see the Panthers say the Jets do take T-Mac at 7? Could you see them going edge here?
Panthers, yeah. That's probably where they go if they don't get one of the top wide receivers.
And then like a guy like
so many edges.
Jalen Walker, who has the flexibility to play outside and inside.
Yeah.
This feels like in Madden when I finish my season and then I get to read the names of the prospects for the first time, like at the draft. And I'm like, ooh, this guy looks cool.
What's his grade do you think going to be? Give me like 88 overall?
What's that? McMillan?
What do you think? What's this rookie?
6'5". Let's give him an 81.
Okay. Nice.
That's his Madden rating? Yeah. That's kind of high for a rookie.
About 79.
79 is about right.
Is that NFL right?
Realistic.
Yeah.
By week 4, 81.
Yeah.
Number 9, I have the Saints.
I like the updates. Don't leave me hanging.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Saints going Mykel Williams, the Georgia edge.
They missed that.
This one's like
They did.
just high-end swing if you're the New Orleans Saints.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. Okay. Because honestly, you know what the vibes I get from him? Trayvon Walker. 100%. Like, it's crazy. I was talking to you, and I think I was talking to our own Ryan Wilson about this, and I was like, he gives me real Trayvon Walker vibes. It's just like, he looks like a freak on, like, you always talk about passing the eye test. He passes it 100%, and he's passed it the last 3 years. I honestly thought he would be way more productive his last 2 years than he actually was.
Is this a Vernon Golston guy?
Huh?
Vernon Golston?
No. He's not that, but he's literally like Trayvon. Remember Trayvon Walker? I had him as a second round pick, maybe even third, and then all of a sudden he gets to the combine and runs like a 4.5, looks 6'5". It looks like chiseled. It looks like a superhero and goes number 1 overall. Mykel Williams gives you that same ability, and you see it on film. Like he does some freakish athletic things, but it's just not consistent. So it's just like, and nothing against Trayvon Walker because he's actually had back-to-back double-digit sack years. People don't talk about it enough.
He's a good player.
Yeah, because people
number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, because people keep saying, "Well, Aiden Hutchinson," and I get it because Aiden Hutchinson looked out of this world this year. But I mean, double-digit sacks every year is nothing to like sneeze about, right?
Yeah, you should have gone 14th instead of first.
Yeah, so like Mykel gives you the same vibes.
122 sacks.
Yeah,
relatively quietly.
Yeah, late first round pick.
122 sacks.
Yeah.
He's top 20. He's near Lawrence Taylor, Von Miller.
That's another guy we could ask. Like, if we do defensive lineman, would he be in the hall?
Yeah. That's crazy.
I doubt he makes it, but
great guy.
There's a logjam there, man. John Abraham, all those guys, Jared Allen. Like, there's a logjam.
But Williams, I think the Saints uniquely can take a project. They don't need a guy to hit right now. Their timeline is 3 years out at this point.
It's interesting, right? Because what if they do purge the roster? Because then they're going to need him, right? Because who knows? I mean,
he plays, but like you don't need the guy. You're not looking for immediate impact, right? You want a guy who's going to play, obviously.
Because like Grandison's a hell of a player, but because they're so cap strapped, what if they end up trading him or even Cam Jordan?
Yeah.
Like now you're real thin on the edge. Chase Young, remember, is a free agent. Mm-hmm. So that might be a position they need to attack.
It is, yeah. And Cam Jordan's 35, right?
That's what I'm saying.
All right, pick 10. How do you love this one? Ashton Jeanty to the Chicago Bears.
Do you love that pick?
With Ben Johnson.
I love it.
The bell cow back. They're going to run. That's
the only question I have about Ashton Jeanty being with Ben Johnson in Chicago is Ben Johnson able to get Caleb Williams to be as effective in the play action passing game? And will the ball be out on time?
I was like, will he throw in time? Because that's what Jared Goff does really well.
Once he hits that back foot, ball's out.
Yeah.
But so they don't have, obviously, the offensive line. In this mock draft, the top 2 offensive linemen off the board. You could reach for one.
And they might lose Tevin Jenkins, too.
Yeah.
Yep. But they've been without him 50% of the games.
Which it hasn't been good, though.
Yeah. Without him, no.
That's what I'm saying.
When he's on the field and he's healthy, he's as good as anybody.
What was Braxton Jones injured to? It wasn't like super
knee. It was a leg he got rolled up on.
Yeah, okay. But
I'm not sure which part.
But I do think the results of the offensive line will be better regardless, just because it'll be schemed up better next year than it was this past year.
Yes.
Like it will look better.
No offense to Chris Morgan.
Regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think having that guy back there, I mean, they drafted Gibbs 12th overall when Ben Johnson was in Detroit. I think he wants that threat back there to get everything else to work. You ain't going to find much better threats than Ashton Jeanty.
My concerns is I don't think he's for one, and this is no shot at Ashton Jeanty, he's not Gibbs when it comes to catching the football.
No.
So that's the issue I have with taking him that high at 10.
Well, they got enough guys out there who can catch the football.
Well, that's the thing. Would Swift essentially become like your Gibbs in the offense, and then he'd be more of your David Montgomery?
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
I would like that matchup. The guy that you had at pick 12 and people can't see it, I actually went my Chicago taking him. Now, again, he's probably a little bit more raw than the other 2 tackles that we talked about.
Yeah.
But I think his upside is out of this world. And I think he would be great for you guys.
He was on the best offensive line in football.
Tomorrow, Oregon.
Come on.
So I think that makes a lot of sense for the
Should have won the Joe Moore Award.
They probably should have. All right, there you have it. There's the top 10 of my mock draft. Go find it. CBSSports.com.